Hi, thanks for coming back. So we've taken a look at a couple of our modules in the MOBILETrak warehouse management systems for NISC. Now we're going to focus our attention on the inventory functions. And this is a large group of transactions that we consider that we're bringing inventory in or out and adjusting our counts. So to do that, we're just going to come into the main screen again, the main login screen. We're going to enter in our username, and we're presented with the main menu. So now I'm going to come into this inventory module, which is actually a submenu, which includes material chargeouts, which is the expense or the charge out of material that is not included on a work order. We can bring this material back into the warehouse by either general ledger or by returning it back to from the work order that we charged out against. We can do our inventory counts, which has multiple functions: a physical inventory and a cycle count or a capture. And then we have our item inquiry. I'm going to go ahead and select the item inquiry, but first, before I do that, I wanted to demonstrate. If you go back to our menu, and I'm going to use the left-hand menu for quick navigation, I can go ahead and choose the settings page. And just a little bit about this page, because this controls some of the user experience and how the application is configured. Here we have our MOBILETrak license, which is just our API key. We have our location that we're currently signed into, and I can change that by simply just navigating through my list. Now I have this show extended GL information, and this is where this applies to our inventory functions that we're about to perform. So when we're working with a work order, we can also in NISC work with a division, a department, or activity codes. Now, rather than making those required, we give you the option to either toggle those on or off independently or as a group. So if you wanted to, say, include your division, your department, or your activity code to your expense, to your account number, you can do that by just simply enabling these. Now these can be enabled on or off depending upon the function. Now we also have this extended search function. So what this allows us to do, it allows us to expand our search. So as we're keying in or scanning certain items, it's going to find everything on that list as we type. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because that can take a little bit of time if we have a large database, a lot of locations, a lot of items. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and I'm going to hit save. So now going back into our inventory functions, I'm going to go ahead and select that from my main menu. I'm going to go ahead and do a charge out. And again, this is where we want to charge something out to a work order or to an account that wasn't necessarily staked on the original engineering pick list. So here, it's asking me, do I want to charge this out to a work order or to a GL account? I'm going to go ahead and choose work order. So I'm going to use a valid work order number. I'm going to go ahead and just key this in, and I can scan this if I had a barcode for it. And if you notice, it's hard to see in the demonstration, but the line, the input line, if I remove that value, it's blue, indicating that it's waiting for data. As I type, it's trying to validate, and as long as I have valid information, that line turns green. So I'm going to choose the work order that we've been working with, which is 110. It's valid because my line is green. I'm going to go down to my account number, and I'm going to choose my standard construction account, which is the 10720. And as long as that's a valid GL account number, again, my input line is now green. And I'm going to go ahead and start scanning my items. Now, all of this information at the top, the work order, the account number, the work order and the account number, all will remain constant until I reset the work order information. So for now, it's asking me for my item number. So I can grab any one of my item labels that we've been working with, and I can scan it. It displays the item number. As long as it's valid, it's going to tell me what that description is. And now I can enter a quantity that I want to charge out. And I'm going to say quantity 1. And I can put any notes down here if I want to type in, say, test. And then I can go ahead and hit submit charge. Now this submit charge button is not enabled until I have something to submit. So now I've submitted it. So now that's how hard it is, or that's how easy it is rather, to charge material out. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these items and see how we adjust our inventory as we're performing these functions within our NISC iView system. So let's go back out and look at another one of these inventory functions. We'll do item inquiry. Now I'm going to go ahead and scan that same item that I just scanned. I'm going to select it from the list. and it's going to give me some information. The part number, the description, this is a conductor. It's going to tell me the warehouse that I'm signed into, which is warehouse number 1, the bin location that it's in, W48, and the quantity that I have on hand, 10,459. Let's remember that value. Now, if I want to go ahead and see if I have this item in any other locations within my population of warehouses, I would simply just toggle this current to all, and then it would display all my warehouses and all the locations and all of the quantities within that population of warehouses. I'm going to turn that off because we have several locations, and that might take a while to populate, so I'm going to turn that off. But let's remember this quantity, 10,459. Now also, if I scroll down, you'll see it gives me some more information. The current status that it is, the average unit cost, the unit of measure, etc. So it gives me a little bit more information. So I'm going to charge some of these items out, and I'm going to see if I can adjust that quantity by doing that. And again, all of this information is real time from NISC. Nothing is being driven from an external database. So I'm going to go back out to my material charge out, and I'm going to choose my work order, 110. Again, it validates it. My account number, and again, I can scan this if I have barcodes for it. I'm going to scan that same item. I'm going to enter my quantity. Let's do 459 just for round numbers. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to add some notes to it. Test charge. And I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. And I should get a message back from MOBILETrak. Successfully submitted with no errors. Now, when I go back to my item inquiry and I scan that item, and I select it, quantity 10,000. So again, all of this information dynamically coming from NISC, showing that charge out that I just processed affected inventory real time as we performed it. So the point of MOBILETrak is to capture these transactions, capture these adjustments to inventory as I'm performing them in the warehouse. So that's a quick look at the inventory functions. We can also do a charge out, we can also do some counts, but that's a quick look at the material charge out function in MOBILETrak warehouse management. Thank you.